Welcome to International Center for Cultural Studies, the sixth conference. I, I think you attended all the conferences.
I have, and it's my pleasure to be back.
Wonderful,
It's a
wonderful.
long wait, every 3 years. We're looking
Yeah,
forward to the
amazing.
next one.
How you entered into this traditional thing?
Okay. About my childhood, I was born in El Salvador, and at that time, we had gone just few years before I was born. There was one of the biggest massacres to the indigenous people. So the few that survived, they blended with the rest of the population, and so we lost at that moment. All of them, they removed their traditional outfit, and they stopped speaking their language. So that's why up to now it's been very difficult because of the governments. They never recognize that they are indigenous people still. So I lived with a little anxiety, something missing in my life, and by destiny, I went to United States when I was very young and learned a little bit of English. And I didn't know that that was what was going to help me now to communicate with, uh, around the world, wherever I go. And but then when my children grew up, then I returned, but not to El Salvador. I returned to Guatemala because in Guatemala, I think it was my tradition calling me back. And in Guatemala, the culture is very alive. And from there, I can work in Guatemala, and I can also help El Salvador, my country of birth.
So, just let us know about your tradition, the name, its history, or its practices.
Yeah, in Guatemala, the Maya tradition, we have 23 ethnic groups, like Maya Quiche, Maya Cachiquel, Maya Tzutujil, Maya Mam, and Mopam. There are 23 of them.
Yours particular is?
And my line is with the Maya Quiche. In El Salvador, there is the Maya Cacahuira or Maya Lencas also, that they are striving for recover the language and the traditional clothing. And so in Guatemala, the tradition is very alive. The languages are spoken freely, and ceremonies can be done in every part of the country. And so it's more freedom to, although the government still, there is a separation in a way.
At present, how many people must be practicing Maya kitchen?
Actually, the Mayans, they work together, all
All
the
Maya
ethnic
together.
groups,
How many
yes.
must be in the Maya tradition
They,
approximately?
well, the Maya population is probably around, um, probably more than 8 million
8 million spread
people.
across South
But
America, North
among,
America.
no, only Guatemala.
In Guatemala,
Only Guatemala.
8 million. That's very
About
big
8
number.
million, and the whole population is about maybe 14 million. So the majority, and others that don't recognize it,
Or
don't recognize it,
unrecognized.
because practically we all are mixed. Only few of the elders are pure, and we are mixed because of the invasion. When the Spanish invasion came to our countries about a little over 500 years ago, they were all men coming. They were like adventurers, and they raped all the women, the sisters and daughters and everyone. So that's why, like in my face, I have not
Spanish.
the yes, more Spanish,
More
and my
Spanish.
heart is very traditional.
Yeah,
And then there are other Mayas that they have left because of the influence of the church. They have been absorbed by the
the Christian
Catholics or
Catholics.
the Christians or the Protestants. And that's what is happening.
So when a Maya kitchen, a Mayan culture, if you think of some basic beliefs, basic concepts, how can you explain it?
The basic beliefs are that we all are one, that we all live from the sun, which is the fire, the water. It's the same waters that nourishes all of us. The earth, that one earth where we all live. And we live according to our prophecies and according to the calendar.
Okay, your own calendar is there.
Very alive. We practice it
Is it
every
lunar
day.
calendar or sun,
We
solar
we
calendar?
have a solar,
Hmm.
and that is it's called the hub, and we have one that goes with the moon, that is used for everyday life.
Okay.
In the calendar of the moon is we use it for astrology, and we use it for the oracle reading, and the ceremonies are based on that, and also our everyday life. Yeah, because
I
every
think similar
day.
with the Hindu calendar as well. Is it 12
Yeah.
months calendar?
No,
Ah,
you see, all the months are based on 20 days
okay.
for all the calendars,
Okay.
because they are about 20 of them. But those three are the ones that are mostly used for the general population. And they are 20 days in the month, because we have the calendar came out of ourselves. The 10 fingers of the hand and the 10 toes.
Okay.
So all the energy, all the needs and everything is within that.
It's a very
So,
interesting new thing for us.
and then we have the other calendar, that is the one I'm going to talk about today.
Yeah.
Is the calendar of the long count, we call it, because it's 5,200 years in length.
Okay.
And it's the one that we started after 2012, the famous 2012,
Yeah.
that everybody feared so
Yeah,
much.
to be basically. Because we also believe in this Yugavda in Hindu. So it is now I think 5,119. Yeah,
5,000,
5,000. Yeah,
pretty
that is
close,
calendar basically. Very close
very
to your
close.
calendar basically. That is we are believing. And you must be believing reincarnation, rebirth as well.
We do,
Yeah.
certainly we do, yes.
Yeah.
We think that when our time comes to leave this plane, we go to rest for a while and then we return.
And what is the concept of God?
That is, God is only one for everyone, for all humanity. Only
Any
one.
name for it? Not
We say ahau,
Aho.
ahau. We say in Mexican language, say hunabku,
Hmm. Hona?
hunabku,
Hun Apku.
hunabku,
Oh, okay.
and we say ahau.
And that God has a form in the form of fire or
Well, not really,
not
not
really.
itself, no.
But God is almighty.
But there are
One
some
God.
representations, for instance, like Kukulkang, they say, great Kukulkang. That is like a feather serpent, sort of like the dragon for the Japanese, in a sense.
Seems
But those
similar.
are just different phases of the
Okay.
one.
Okay. A typical Mayan kitchen. What is his daily practice? How he or she practices in daily this type of tradition.
Well, because we know what day in the calendar is. For instance, today is 2 and Tsi is the authority, is the divine justice, that the one that cannot sell and you cannot buy. That's what it is. Yes, and it's represented also by the spirit of an animal, which is the dog.
Achha.
The
Okay.
dog, because you see, the dog, it represents also the authorities. Like, he's the authority in your house. He protects you. If some danger comes, he goes before the owner. So the authorities should be like that, to be there to protect the people.
Okay. So do you have some ritual every day to do, every week
No,
to
you
do?
do rituals as you need it.
Okay.
Like, say there is someone ill in the house, Then you use the day of the
For
calendar
well-being
that
of the
is
person.
the one that it has the best energies to ask for it. If someone is going to go to school
Ah,
or going to go away, you pray for another day, which is the
okay.
day of the wisdom.
And as a community, do you come together to perform some ritual?
Yes, there are some that are in collective at certain days. For instance, the New Year's Day or the day when the sacred bundle is delivered to a student to initiate, or but also for personal use, you can do it alone or with your members, close family, or it depends.
So the theme of this conference is the divinity in the feminine. How you relate with this theme to Mayan?
Because in the calendar of the long count, it marks different eras in time. And for now that we are beginning this, what we call the sixth sun, sixth cycle of the sun, and it marks the era of oneness, but also the era of the feminine.
Okay,
And with the era of the feminine,
this year.
yes,
It starts from where?
we said the feminine energy has returned to earth, and to earth is to women mainly because no, to women because the women already have that feminine energy. With men, it has been suppressed to a certain degree, and depending where you live or your 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 society.
Yeah.
But for the most people, it's been suppressed. Like telling you have to be the supporter of the house. You have to be um, the strong. You cannot cry, and they have taken that very dearly that they don't show their emotions.
Oh,
So when the energy, the feminine energy comes in, to the women, it will be enhanced because it's already there. So that's why they are enhanced. If a man is in touch with his feminine energy, he will also be enhanced. If he's denied, that he's not in touch with the feminine energy, then he may feel discomfort, uncertainty, and it will be kind of a little disturbing for them.
now the world is facing this materialism, consumerism, the crime, everything. These 8 million people you mentioned about these practicing the Maya, how their lifestyle changed because of this practicing Maya.
Well,
They're living in
many
USA, they're living in Western culture.
among all those 8 million people, there are only about 3 million that are really practice the tradition.
Good.
The others have moved into these other religions. But when they have a problem and life is not working for them, you can see them kind of in hiding in the sacred sites and the altars praying to the Maya.
And what about 3 million people? Their lifestyle changed because of staying in the Mayan culture. They
Eh,
become more
oh,
respectable.
well, with the governments, no.
No, no, but the people.
With the people, within their people, yes.
Yeah, okay.
But it's like two worlds that work parallel.
Can you give some examples of, for example, a Hindu when he's practicing this one, so he look more the family conscious. He worships every day to the deity. He's good citizen as well in the society. So that type of change we see when somebody is practicing the culture.
What happened is that many Mayans go to, like, say, we want to go to a certain sacred site, because most of them are in the mountains, out of town. And then you have these other religions that they are very, sort of close, fanatic. Sometimes they come and they make problem for them.
Oh,
So that's why we cannot go to
big
all
one.
the places. We have to be very careful, or take some security.
Oh,
He would
right.
need to go there
Really?
because the Christians and all the other religions, they just don't accept it. It's still considered that it's witchcraft. Yeah. So there are a lot of limitations, but the elders, the key is teaching the children. The children are keeping the tradition.
Really? That's my next
Yeah.
question, basically.
Yeah.
How the young generation is looking at this Maya?
And another thing that has caused problems is and separation is sometimes economic
Issue.
issues. Um, Others because of the jobs. Like if they go with your traditional clothes, a man traditional clothes, they won't give you a job because you don't look right. Others they have to leave the country. Like the dream of going to the U.S.
Oh,
and looking for
job,
work.
basically.
And right now it's a big with the new president. All the people that are returning home is a problem for the country
Okay.
because of economically there's not enough jobs.
Okay. But now the young generations are more and accepting the Mayan culture. They believe in.
A lot of because in the schools, I'm talking for the rest of the people, the regular population, they don't, at the schools, they don't promote it. Although now, lately, in the last few years, they are teaching a Maya language.
In
But
school.
in the school, and they say if you graduate, you have to learn at least one language, one Maya language.
That's good.
But they don't have good teachers.
Ah,
Traditional teachers that they speak that real language. They have teachers that have learned the language. So they're still a little short there.
okay.
But at least it's an
But there is a potential.
attempting, yeah, to do that.
Very nice. Any in next 50, 10 years, where would like to see this Mayan kitchen culture?
Oh, I would like to see that there is more unity, more understanding from others, like these other religious groups and the governments
Yeah.
also, just to recognize that what we pray for is for the well-being of humanity and for the well-being of our great mother, our Mother Earth.
Any message for India or we as a Hindu?
For India and for the young people is not to lose their traditional clothing. That's an identity. We have to keep our identities. Very important. Our language, our dances, and that is the most beautiful thing here in India. All those dances. Oh, it's so gorgeous.
Yesterday we saw about that.
It's beautiful. So it's just to keep what is each one of us, to keep what is ours. It's like oneness with our own individuality, each one,
Yeah.
and all respecting each other,
And it's bringing all those cultures together. ICCS.
bringing them together.
How do you see? It is
I wish they could return to Guatemala
very good.
because they came. I think it was 2003
Yeah.
when they came to Guatemala.
Yeah. Some people
We
came to
had it.
Guatemala. basically.
Yes.
So again,
And
yeah. Okay.
it was beautiful, and it's good also for other people to see that. That what the Mayans are doing is just connecting with other cultures and seeing all of them are working together for the same thing.
This government is sometimes hostile, sometimes basically. Are these Mayan groups are coming together to?
The Mayan groups are coming together. The president is like he doesn't care at all. The president before this one, he's in jail. It's his second year in jail with the vice president together and others of the cabinet because of corruption. They went too far with corruption.
Understand.
And
But how-
before that one, he was a disciple of the Grand Elder. He was
Okay.
a Mayan one. But the
You,
Congress,
yeah, I think you're talking about the president of the country.
the president of the country,
That's understandable. But is the Mayan people coming together to work for the with the government?
oh,
Mayan cultures, like
well,
Mayan
to
kitchen and
work
different
with the government, yes.
as a strength.
Actually, when there is something like with the president that is in jail, that I said, and the vice president, they were in office, but the Mayans got all together protesting. The corruption was too much, and that was how they were able to put him in jail.
Okay, that's a good achievement.
When they get together with issues that are of great importance,
They
they
come
do
together.
come together
That's very good
all over the
because unity
country.
is a strength for that.
Uh-huh.
Well, thank you very much
Well.
for your very detailed information about the
Thank
past,
you.
the present, and the future. And I hope we are working, will be working together for that.
Thank you. Thank
And
you.
look forward to have a conference in Guatemala next time. I never been to Guatemala.
That
so,
would be nice.
yeah.
Yeah, no, the culture is very alive.
Yeah.
It's there.
Thank you very
Uh-huh.
much.
All right. Thank you.